Salutations, my friends. We're going to read a really cute fiction book today about a character who doesn't really like something about themselves. It's an animal character. And if you look at the front cover, you can see a rhinoceros and a porcupine. The title or the name of the book is A Porcupine Named Fluffy. Now, when I think of the word fluffy, I think of something soft, right? But this little porcupine, his name is Fluffy. Now, do you know anything about porcupines? They're animals that have very sharp quills sticking out of their body. That helps them protect themselves. They're very pointy and sharp, not really fluffy. But that's his name, Fluffy. Let's do a book walk through this book together. It was written by Helen Lester. She's the author. And the cute pictures were drawn by Lynn Munsinger. She was the artist or illustrator. On the front cover, I see those two characters. And on the back cover, I see two porcupines. Maybe a mommy or a daddy porcupine. Let's see what happens to this porcupine and how this porcupine feels about itself. It says, when Mr. and Mrs. Porcupine had their first baby, they were so happy. Now they needed a name. There's the mommy and daddy porcupine. And do you see the baby in the baby carriage or the stroller? They have to think of a name for their baby, just like your mommy and daddy did when you were born. Should they call him Spike? Spike is something pointy and sharp, but it says that was too common. That means too many porcupines were named Spike. Should they call him Lance or Needle Rooser? How about Prickles or Pokey? Then they had an idea. They said, let's call him Fluffy. That's such a pretty name, Fluffy. There's the little porcupine. Look, he's got a diaper on and little booties. And now the porcupine's name is Fluffy. That's right. But eventually there came a time, it says, when Fluffy doubted that he was Fluffy. He became suspicious when he backed into the door and got stuck. Look at the poor guy. All those little quills. He got stuck right into the door. So he's starting to realize that he's not really Fluffy, is he? Then he accidentally poked his back into the mattress. That was a very unfluffy thing to do. That means not fluffy. Then look at this, guys. All his pointy quills got stuck in the umbrella. And look at his face. Can you see his sad mouth? He's realizing that even though his name is Fluffy, he's not really fluffy-like, is he? So he decided to become fluffier. Clouds are fluffy, he said. I'll be a cloud. Oh my goodness, look. He climbed up to the top of the tree, but doing, the tree fell down. Could he stay up in the sky like a fluffy cloud? No. I know, he said. Pillows are fluffy. But when his mother sat on him, she was not pleased. Because he's not fluffy. He's very spiky or pokey, isn't he? Then he tried soaking in a bubble bath. It says for 45 minutes. But he did not become fluffy. He only became soggy. That means all wet. Aw, look at him. He's trying to look and become like his name says, which is Fluffy. Is it okay if he doesn't match his name? Yes, but he doesn't know that yet. Then he tried putting whipped cream on him. It wasn't easy. and it took more than half a day. And look, you can't even see him. He's full of whipped cream. He's trying to become fluffy, but it's not working. Then he ate a whole lot of marshmallows. Marshmallows are soft and fluffy. Then he rolled in shaving cream and feathers. He even tried to become a bunny. He's trying so hard to become something soft and fluffy. But it says the truth remained. Fluffy wasn't. He wasn't fluffy. Aww. But he's a porcupine, right guys? Porcupines aren't supposed to actually be fluffy. It says one day Fluffy went for a walk, trying to think of a way to become fluffy, and he met a very large rhinoceros. Grrr, said the rhinoceros. I'm going to give you a rough time. Fluffy didn't know what that meant, but he didn't like the sound of it. What is your name, you little prickly thing? Said the rhinoceros. He's not being very nice, is he? And Fluffy said, Fluffy. So he's met the rhinoceros, and now he's telling him his name. And that is his name, right? His name is Fluffy. The rhinoceros smiled. Then he giggled. Then he laughed out loud. Then he roared with laughter. A porcupine named Fluffy. Look how hard he's laughing. And look at Fluffy's face. Is he feeling very good about this? No. The rhinoceros is making fun of his name. And he was embarrassed. But he tried to be polite. He said, What is your name? Then the rhinoceros said, Oh, I can't say it. Hubert? Suggested Fluffy. So Fluffy's trying to guess the rhinoceros's name. Do you think it's Hubert? Oh, I just can't say it. I'm laughing so hard, said the rhinoceros. Is it Harold or Herman? Guessed Fluffy. No, it's Hippo. Hippo. Now look at the rhinoceros's face. He's wondering, what's Fluffy gonna say? Because his name doesn't match him either. He's not a hippo or a hippopotamus. He's a rhinoceros. So his name doesn't match him either. He and Fluffy have something in common or the same. Hippo. A rhinoceros named Hippo? Fluffy smiled and he giggled. Then he laughed out loud. A rhinoceros named Hippo. And he's laughing. And look, the rhinoceros is laughing too. Oh my goodness. So we've got a porcupine named Fluffy and a rhinoceros named Hippo. Both friends laughed so hard tears came out of their eyes. Have you ever laughed so hard that you started crying? Finally, they got exhausted. That means tired. And from that time on, they were the best of friends because they both had something the same. They had names that didn't really match what they looked like. But Fluffy didn't mind. And he didn't mind being called Fluffy, even though he really wasn't fluffy. And look, they became the best of friends.